Yo, I'm Micks Mowers and Mower Man, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're off to Worthing. In fact, we're nearly there. I looked on eBay about 6 days ago and found an Atco Balmoral 14 SE. It is the older style one, quite an old engine on there, but it was up for like £1.99, something like that. I put a little sneaky bid on there, which took it up to £2.20, and I've been watching it for about 5 or 6 days. And it got down to about the last 9 minutes last night. No one put any bids on it at all. It's a non-working machine, but looks to be okay. It's all there. And I thought, I can't win this Atco Balmoral for £2.20, surely. However, I didn't. People started to bid on it right at the last knock-ins, like they normally do. But I managed to win and secure this Atco Balmoral for £18.50. £18.50 for an Atco Balmoral 14 SE. That's really, really good. So, I'm going to pick that up. Then got to head down to a place called Bracklesham Bay, which is also on the south coast. If you don't know where Bracklesham Bay is, Google it and have a look. It's a lovely part of the south coast of England. Off down to Bracklesham to go and pick up a lawnmower, a Mountfield 414 or 164, one or the other. Free to collector. The lady's selling it or giving it away because she's gone over to battery power. She's had enough of petrol. I got the mower out of the shed and the flipping thing won't start, she said. So she put it up on Facebook Marketplace. Free to collector, come and get it. So yeah, it's me. So I asked if it was available still, and she said it was. She said, however, I've had about 25 people ask about it, but they're all asking, does this lawnmower run? Of which it doesn't. So many people want a free lawnmower if it runs, but they don't want a free lawnmower if it don't. So she said, you are aware it doesn't run, right? I said, yeah, I'm aware of that. That's no problem. And it's going to be a standard carburetor clean, slow jet, main jet, or torque spark plug, right? That's what it's going to be. So we'll pick that up as well, and then in a later video you'll see I'm going to go down to my friend Lawnmower Jones today. I've got the 17-inch SK cylinder all painted up, looking lovely. I'm going to get that sharpened up from my mate Lawnmower Jones, and that'll be my day done. So I don't want to get a lot done today. We're off on a road trip to pick up these mowers, and we'll go from there. So yeah, one Atco Balmoral. I've got the money here. You left it on the driveway for me. I've got to put it through his door. £18.50 for a Atco Balmoral 17 SE and a lawnmower Mountfield 414164 free to collector, non-working machine. So technically, 2 lawnmowers for £18.50. That's pretty good. So we're nearly at this place here. We're about a minute and a half away. If I can turn right here, that'd be good. I've got Pip in the back of the van. Pip's come with me because I don't want to leave her in the house. I've got window half open on the other side, and she's chilling out in the boot. So that's good. I think it's up here. Let's have a little look. I think it's up here. Turn right up here. Ada Park. Ada Avenue. Yeah, up here, and it should be up here on the right hand side, I think. Have a quick little look at it. In here. Wayside Avenue, that's the one, and it should be on the driveway. On the drive. Yep, I can see it. Right, let me get it picked up. In fact, I'll go and turn around. That'd be easier. I think they're actually in. Maybe I just don't want contact. It looks like quite a nice sort of neighbourhood. Bungalows mainly. Right, so we're back with a little tiny couple of mowers I picked up. One was free and one was £18.50. So that's cool. Let me grab some petrol and a plug spanner, and a little bit of carb spray or something like that might help. Because both his machines were sold as non-running. I think we'll start with the Mountfield. Now that also come with a litre and a half of engine oil, which is great. So it want a oil change anyway. It's got a full tank of juice. That's it says it's priming. So it didn't start apparently. Okay. So I can hear it priming. but then it wants to stop. So let's start it and prime it. So that should be a quick little carburetor fix on that one. So super happy with that. But before we carry on, I just want to give a quick little shout out to a very special gentleman. His sister-in-law reached out to me just the other day on my Instagram and said that her brother-in-law, Stephen Jacobs, is an absolute hardcore subscriber. Stephen does have an additional need, but apparently he spends pretty much most of his days on his iPad watching Micks Mowers over and over and over and over and over until everyone else is sick of it apart from him. He is an absolute hardcore subscriber. So I have reached out to the young lady and I sent Stephen Jacobs a Micks Mowers and Mower cap free of charge. Sent it off to him, so he should get that before this video is released. He should get that, so he'll have a Micks Mowers and Mower cap to watch his channel. So if you can just put a little tiny comment in the chat to Stephen Jacobs to say hi, be much appreciated. Thank you, Stephen Jacobs, much appreciated, buddy boy. I hope you enjoy your cap, my friend. Right, Mountfield done. Just wants a carburetor cleaner. I've got stones everywhere. My dog is picking up stones and shells and all sorts. It's not good for a cylinder mower, Pip. So the second one is this Atco Balmoral. Now, this is quite an old machine, and this is why I was thinking about converting it over to the Kawasaki. How old is it? It says 2006 is what it says, but that looks like quite an old engine on there. Tank is completely empty and looks to have some debris in there, I would say. It don't look great. Let's put a bit of fuel in, see what it does. Non-running machine, he said. Let's put a bit in. I don't know if the carb's going to leak or anything, got no idea. Now, the HT is actually off. What do we do with the old tank carriers? So we've got no leaks on the carb, or I did see a drip off of the fuel tap. Let's put the HT lead on, because that won't do anything if that's off. And we'll choke the machine, which should be, that's full throttle, half choke, full choke. That should be, so the throttle lever's been moved. That's not quite right, something's broken there on that throttle lever, that I want to be replaced. It's got electric start as well. I don't know if there's a battery in there. Let's have a look. There is a battery in there. Okay. It doesn't look very well connected though. Let's try and connect that up. That's better. Right, does that turn on a key then? That's dead on the key. Right, let's see what it does. It's got some petrol. Let's try and flood that carb. Bit of petrol. Oh, that does smell stale. It smells really stale. Right, let's see what it does. Non-running machine, eh? It did something. Okay, so let's just try and encourage it to run. Take the air filter out, put that in there. A little bit of carb spray. Straight down the throat, take it off choke. Onto choke. Give that a pull, see what that does. Can't get just a pop, can I? Okay, so the cylinder is trying to spin all the time. but we've got a bit of life in the old girl. So that'd be carburetor clean. All the drive cables all seem to be on an absolute maximum. I think someone's had a fiddle with that. But 2006 machine, I might leave the engine on. So we're trying to get the engine running first before we start mucking about with it. Could be just for carburetor clean and up and run. I did hear a bit of squeaking off that front bearing. I don't know if that bearing's gone on there. I don't think it has. It's a bit of grease up maybe. So 2 machines, £18.50, and that'd be carburetor clean, good to go. And then this one wants a new height adjustment level there. Carburetor clean, throttle control fixed, because that's broke. Bit of a tidy up, get the drive and cylinder running. If I can get the machine to run nicely with electric start, I may leave it as is. I was toying with the idea of converting it to a Kawasaki, but if I take that engine off and put a Kawasaki on, I then lose electric start. So it's the best of both worlds. What do you want to do? Do you want to put the Kawasaki on or Kawasaki off? Put in the comment section what you want me to do. I'll get it running first and then we'll go from there. So if you want me to put a Kawasaki on, I'll try and do that, but there's no guarantee it will fit because the airbox on a Kawasaki does tend to hit this bar here, but I can always just take the engine off and have a quick little look later on. So let's get them sorted out. We'll go for this one first in this video and then we'll come back to this one in the second video. And don't forget to leave a comment there for Stephen as well. Be much appreciated if you do, because he's an avid subscriber and he loves the channel, so do that as well, please. Mountfield up on the bench, might be a quick little fix, good to go. And then we can spend a bit more time on this one whilst I've got my Atco 17 SK cylinder over at the sharpeners. I can then get on and do that in my own leisure, so that'd be cool. So Mountfield 414 up on the bench. Okay, so please try and bear in mind, gentleman gave it away because it didn't start, or it started and then cut out. And in here, it's had an upgrade plug. It's got an NGK in there because these generally come with the infamous torch plug. I can't get that off the plug. It's supposed to remove the cowling pull cord, but I don't generally. Right, put that over there. Straight into carburetor. Someone's been in here because there's a little tiny cable tie on here. So the fiddle fairies already have been in. So let's snip that off. Nice air filter. So we get straight in. Where's my impact? No mucking about. I'm going to get this one done, up and running, out in the garden. I want a 10mm. Oh, before I continue, actually I've got something off of my Amazon wishlist too. A parcel came through the door just this morning. Let me go and grab that very quickly. I'd like to say thank you to people that are taking the time to send me some bits and bobs. Where's that one? Here it is. I've got so many bits on my bench, it ain't even funny. Hi Pip, how you doing? You come and say hello, have you? Alright, let's grab a 10mm. Let me go and grab that parcel because it has just come in. So let me go and grab that, 2 seconds. Right, I've got some bits and pieces in. And the first person to send me, to give me some bits, actually is my mate Doug. And my mate Doug, he lives up the road from me and he runs a little business repairing lawnmowers and bits and pieces, and he's just started, although he has done a few videos before in the past on YouTube, he's just started doing some more videos. So go and check out Busy Lizzie's over on YouTube. I'll try and leave a link down below. And that's my mate Doug. He lives just up the end of the road from me. So go over to Busy Lizzie's. I'll send you a link and just put a little comment in there. Subscribe if you want to, and just let him know that Micks Mowers and Mower Man has sent you. Doug sent me over, which is handy, Mountfield 414, which is one of these, a fuel line. They're really handy because they're tapered at one end, so that can go in my fuel drawer. And he also gave me a nylon brush for cleaning and a wire brush for cleaning too. So cheers, Dougie boy. There go in my toolbox when I find somewhere to put those. Much appreciated. And then I had this sent to me, which I'm well happy with. This is a set of sockets. What have we got on here? 3/4, 1532s, half inches, and what have you. Very, very nice. This is a 1/4 inch set. And this was sent to me, and I'm not sure the reason why it was sent to me. I don't know if I helped somebody out. There's a little love letter here. Enjoy your gift from Nigel Kinch. Yeah, Kinch, K-I-N-C-H. Thank you very much indeed. So cheers, Nigel. Much appreciated, buddy boy. I love your big socket set. I did get another set off of somebody else a little while ago, but that was a smaller set, and these are a bit more long reach. So I'll get them fitted into my toolbox. There's room for them sockets in my toolbox. That'd be lovely. Yes, there is. I'll get them cut into the old foam, and that'd be great. So thank you very much, Nigel. Much appreciated, mate. It's just what I need. Can't cope without imperial and metric sockets. You need to have them both. So that's that. I've got loads of other bits and pieces here. Spare stuff for Kawasaki's and bits and bobs. I've got spark plug just coming for an old GV 100, and also got some springs from my mate Top Conquer as well for a scarifier. So got loads of bits coming through the door. Which is, we always like to see a parcel, right? We always love to see a parcel. I'm losing bits here because I've got too many projects on the go. Mountfield 414, let's get on with that. Right, we're good to go. 10 mil, straight on. So if your lawnmower, right, if it's like this one, or if it's very, very similar, if it's a Honda, or if it's a Chinese jobby with the old metal carby, then this video is a video for you, right? Because they're all the same. Just pull that out gently, and there's a crankcase breather pipe just here, which goes on the back here, I'll show you in a minute, and then there's a little tiny primer lead. Just pull that straight off. There's a bowl there, and that goes onto that one there. Sometimes these little tiny spacers come out, they go into the airbox, okay? Just fit them back in. Push them out of the way. The little tiny gasket there, we keep that in one piece, and then you've got a fuel line to tap off. How's that fuel line doing? That fuel line's a little bit solid, but I reckon my forceps might hold that back. So a decent set of forceps. And we're going to pinch that fuel line off right at the back here, out of the way, and I can then take that fuel line off. Now, if I have helped you out in the past, either via email or via videos, and you want to show a bit of appreciation, and you don't have to, right? I'm just touting. If you want to show a bit of appreciation to Micks Mowers, I do have an Amazon wish list, okay? And it is a thing. And if you want to show a little bit of appreciation towards me, because I've helped you out, saved you money or whatever, then check out in my pinned comment section, you'll find, in the top there, you'll find my Amazon wish list. Go on over there, go on to Amazon wish list, and if you want to buy me or Riley Boy a little gift, there's some bits and pieces on the first both, then feel free to go on there and buy me and Riley Boy a little gift. It's normally just tools, just to help me through my day. Best we can. Right, fuel lead is off. I want to get a pair of long nose pliers now. I've got so many tools because I have got too many projects on the go, and I shouldn't do it. But I need to get videos done, so I have a bit of time off, because Riley Boy wants to go in the hot tub later on. So that one off, and then that one off there. And I'll try and get some close-ups in there for you as well, because some people like close-ups and some people don't, but I can't win. So carburetor now slides off. Put that on one side. Don't tip it up yet. Leave it upright, okay? Because we want to come back to that in a minute. Let me get this mower off the stand, and then we'll go for a carburetor clean on this Mountfield 414. Okay, nice little close-up clean of the carburetor off of a Mountfield 414. Now, I do use impacts, but you don't have to. If you want to use just spanners and sockets, it's up to you, but I do use impacts. So let me just impact this one off, tip the carburetor onto its side, and then what you want to do, a little impact, and with a clean rag underneath, you can then inspect what's actually gone on with this carb. So let's take that out, look, O-rings come off, there you go, and that's the reason why your carby, or your lawnmower, don't want to run. That'd be the reason. Just going to try and pop that little O-ring back inside there before it expands, because sometimes they expand. Just want to bed that O-ring back in. I have no spares for those. And then pull that little tiny pin out just there. Pull that out. Pull your float out. And then inside here is a little tiny flat-headed screw in there, which is your main jet. I've got a screwdriver specially adapted for that, which is my old trusty screwdriver. This one here, which I adapted. I just ground the edges down. Just going to put that into there, just try to find the screw head, just a flat head, and then just give it a little tiny turn. And if it doesn't come out, just try and tighten it, undo it, tighten it, undo it. This has come out okay, this one. So we're going to back that main jet out as far as it'll go and give it a tap. There it is. Now he said this was serviced last year, is what he said to me. So it shouldn't be too bad. There's the main jet. Now inside here, other way around, you'll find there's a little tiny brass bit sticking up right in the middle of that carb. See it right down there? Just get your screwdriver and just push that down. Okay, and give it a tap. And then your emulsion tube, which then follow. If it doesn't come out first, we'll push back in again till you see it pop out the top. There it is there. And then give it another push down. It's just stuck in there, that's all it is. You can get a little Allen key in there, up the top. Just keep going. What I also got, I've got a pick, which is what I use as well. A little tiny pick with a right angle on it. And they're quite good just for getting in there and just pushing, just forcing it down a little bit further than what it was beforehand. But it is just stuck in there. It's got to come out. It can't leave it in there. I'm going to put a little bit of GT85 up in there and all, just to help that along. Get rid of any dirt that's up in there. But that has got to come out. It cannot stay in there. There it goes. Get that out. Now, that's mainly the bits out of this car, but also this side here is a slow running idle circuit screw. And these are the same on the Hondas, but Hondas may not have this bit, they just have a little tiny Phillips plate just here. So unscrew that. Move it out of the way, and then with a pair of long nose pliers or screwdriver, flathead driver, just prise it up very gently. But go careful because there's little tiny O-rings on here. When I get to a certain height, I know it's moving. I then get a pair of long nose pliers sometimes and just get hold of it like that and just give it a little tiny rock very gently. There's O-rings on there, so you don't want to be mucking with those. And just check that all the O-rings have come out and there's not an O-ring that you've lost off of the bottom of here. Make sure it's not sat down into there. There's a little tiny hole in there as well, so you want to get in there and to clean these orifices out. So pull that bowl out of the way. Let that sit. All that dirt there. Look, that's come out the bowl. So that's the carburetor stripped as far as we need to go. But what we now need to do is clean the carburetor fully. Okay. So what I'm looking for in my drawer of many things, I'm working backwards here. You need a couple of items. A set of gas tip cleaners, file cleaners, and you can find these on eBay, or if you go to my pinned section or about page, you'll find a list that says tools I use. You'll find them there. Hit a link and away you go. And they come different size files, and all you want to do is find the smallest one, probably that one there, and then grab your main jet, which is this little tiny one, and then there's a hole, and you'll see if it's plugged. Let's have a look in the light here. No, it's not plugged, but it is slightly restricted. Okay, there's a little tiny hole there, see it? But it is slightly restricted, so that's part of the reason why this lawnmower has failed. So I'm going to put a file in, and a bit of sideways pressure. I'm rotating the jet as we go, and literally all I'm doing is just cleaning the side walls of that hole up. That's what I'm doing. Now if you can find the next size file will actually go in, which would be, where are we, not that one. It's going to be one of these little beggars. Where is it? Here. It's hiding. That one there it'd be. You might find that that one might go in. If it doesn't, don't force it. Okay? Is that going to go? No, I don't think it will. It wants to, but I'm not going to force it. I don't want to give it too much. So I'll go with a little one. And all we're going to do is just going to rim that jet out. Just so it's nice and clean. Plenty of sideways pressure. That is the key. If you haven't got gas tip cleaners, I wouldn't even bother doing this unless you had it. I find the gas tip cleaners work fantastic. A little tiny spray GT85 or WD-40, whatever you've got to hand. Blow it out and you'll see the hole in there now has vastly improved. Okay, got a hole in there now, it's twice the size of what it was before. And that's not that I've made it bigger, theoretically, it's always been the same size. I've just opened up and got rid of the dirt, okay? Then you'll do exactly the same thing with the same size needle through the holes on this emulsion tube. Okay, exactly the same. There's about 15 holes to do, so just take your time. If there's a hole, stick it in it. That's what I was always told. That's plugged, not that one. Okay, and the holes, the next one up there, they're a little bit bigger, so we can go up a touch on the file diameter. Want that one there, on it. And if you think one's blocked out, then just poke it. And all we're doing is we're removing the ethanol. See that there, look, there's a bit of dirt right on the end of that one just there. See it? Once you clean all them up, give it a darn good spray with some WD-40 or carb cleaner, whatever it is you've got. And just make sure that all those holes are running. Okay? And there's one up the top here, I don't think that's running. So block a few holes up. There it is. Lovely. Right, put on a bit of clean rag, move your jet onto a bit of clean rag. And now the last one, this is the glincher. This is the one that I believe is the main issue. Now I've got these, these are called Union Tool thumb drills. All right, now, don't ask me what size it is, I don't know. All I know is it's the smallest one on the left hand side. The right hand side, depending on which way you open the box up. And the pink one on mine, there's a little tiny hole in here. Now you watch it, I bet this is plugged. Now that won't go in. That will not go in. So I'm going to force it, and it goes. And that is the reason why that little tiny lawnmower won't run. That little tiny jet. And now it's running. A bit of sideways pressure again. Not a lot without a snap. Just go very careful. A little bit of sideways pressure. Clean them walls up. GT85 back in. And now what you're watching to see is liquid coming through this hole here. Okay. When I apply it through the jet, through the centre, just gently spray it. And you'll see it in a minute come through. There it goes. See that? Coming through that little tiny hole just there. That way we know that jet's clean. Okay, so that is all the cleaning you need to do on the jet side. On the carburetor, you've got a hole here. We're going to spray that. We've got a hole here. We're going to spray that. One there. One through the primer. That one there, you'll get nothing through that one there. And then through the slow idle circuit, which is this one here. There's a hole down in there. Now when you come through this one here, that one, that comes through the slow idle circuit. To make sure that's done. Yeah? And that is the carby cleaned. Now you can air compress it off if you want to, okay? But pretty much, if there's a hole, stick it in it, poke it, and swill it out. Alright? You can put your comment to whatever you like about that. But that's your carburetor now done. I'm just going to compress it off of my air compressor. And I'm lucky enough to have one. If you haven't got an air compressor, go into Staples or something like that and buy some keyboard compressed air. Right? Because that way you can compress all the dust out, all the dirt out, all the oil and water out. Anywhere where you think there's a blockage, you can compress it. It just shifts anything that maybe a bit more stubborn, rather than using an ultrasonic cleaner. And I have got one of those. I don't often use it, to be fair. I have quite good success without it. But if a carburetor really does play me up, it goes in the ultrasonic cleaner. But generally I have to clean it twice before I do that. Don't ask me why, I just do. In goes your emulsion tube and main jet. And your emulsion tube will go narrow end first. Okay, if I was a bit quick for you there. I'm going to slide that down into there. Lovely jubbly. We're going to put a slow idle one in next. This is this one we've drilled out, or just rimmed. But only going one way. There's a little tiny metal stopper just there, so it has to go in that way. It can't go in that way. Okay. So just seat it down, level it up to where you want it roughly. Okay, and give it a good push, and it should well seat. Down it goes. And you've got a little tiny screw here to put on, which is your tick over or your idle. Not that it needs it, because this machine is manually governed, or mechanically governed. Sorry. We're going to screw that in there like that. And you want about 3 threads poking out the back end of this. Here they come now. There's 1, there's 2, and about 3 threads. About, I said. Your floating needle doesn't need a lot of work. A gentle little spray off, get rid of any dirt you've been touching with your hands. When you clean carburetors, cleanliness is godliness. The cleaner the environment, the cleaner your carburetor. Now that going a little tiny hole just in the back there. See that little tiny hole? It goes in there. And then get your float pin. Stick it inside of the hole. Level your float up so it receives it. Oh, missed it. Went in the wrong hole. Went in the wrong hole. Right. It goes in there. In there. Now my bowl, it's a little bit rancid. It's not hideous. I've seen a lot worse. Put your bowl, give it a nice little swill out. Get rid of all the dirt, okay? You got no dirt in there. And I've got a little tiny brass brush. Now you can use whatever you like. I mean, it's controversy over what you should be using to clean them out. Like, I do what I do. Little tiny brass brush. Nice and soft. And all I want to do is get rid of that rust that's on the bottom of that bowl. That's all I'm trying to achieve. I'm going to swill out. Get rid of all that dirt. Now what's doubly important here is before you go to start that lawnmower up, you might want to drain your fuel out. If you've got a problem, you might just want to check your fuel. So dump all the fuel out of the tank and inspect it. If it looks horrible, get rid of it in the correct manner. And go and get some fresh fuel. There's nothing worse than people clean carburetors, and then the first thing they do is put back in the dirty fuel that is just cleaned. You know what I mean? Alright, that's nice. We like that. So now I'm going to put this on. Now these have got two little tiny screws on here, bolts. One in the centre, one on the side. The one on the side goes opposite the inlet, okay, the fuel inlet. So push it like that. So it's one here and one here. Seat that down. Get your nut, your bolt, sorry, and just start it off. Before it goes down, just make sure that is snug. If it's sat up like that, one side, it's going to leak. Okay, just so to make sure it's nice and snug and it's nice and square, how you want it. And you better feel it, because you feel that rubber gasket O-ring is actually pressing down. Then get a spanner, 10mm, and just nick that up with a spanner. Seat it, and then a good nick up, okay? Well, that's done. Now we can put all our tools away, because the carburetor has now been cleaned. Don't forget your micro drills and your file tip cleaners are in my comment section under tools that I use. Put all my bits, my bobs away. Get rid of my rag. Look how much dirt come off of that out of that carb. Look, all that dirt. Look, that's all out of that carb. All that lot. Good, isn't it? Right, put a carb away somewhere until you're ready to fit it onto the mower, somewhere clean. You can just do a little trick here, just tip this over and find a clean bit of rag there and just wrap it up, okay, until you're ready for it. But I'll put mine on one side for now. That can go in the bin. I'll get the mower back up on the table and we're going to refit it. Okay, so we're happy with our carb. We can now go to refit it, and the priming side here goes to the front, okay. Sit that on. Fuel can go on. Now what I'm going to do with my fuel before I do anything, just going to release a bit of this fuel out, just to make sure there's no water in there. There was a bit, just a touch. Just a little tiny amount. I'd see it come out, because it's flowed out differently. So now I'm going to hook up my fuel line and put a little tiny retaining clamp on. I'm going to get my throttle governor arm bar. There's a hole associated for that one. You might want to get a pair of long nose pliers just to hold that, and just to sort of force that down to its little tiny seat. Now if it won't go, you may have to just undo this screw at the front, okay? But they are designed to fit. The reason it might not go is because we might have screwed that screw in and the throttle arm doesn't line up right. So just back that screw out a touch, just so the throttle arm opens right up, and then you can get hold of it and seat it, okay? Get hold of your spring, associated spring. There's a little tiny hole just for that as well. It goes on just there. Lovely. We've got a gasket to put on. Where did my gasket go? There it is there. There's a little tiny flat end there where the gasket goes on. So just seat the gasket on. Lovely. And then this little tiny pipe here, that fits onto that one there. And then this little tiny pipe here, as you offer the box on, there's a little tiny hole at the back here. Crankcase breather, that's got to sit on there. So just offer that on, and then swing it round, and then just watch where the crankcase breather pipe goes on the back. Line it all up, and line all three up together, on it goes. And then your two 10mm. Now I had just sprayed the lawnmower with some WD-40 Just want to clean it up. Air filter goes on. Air filter was nice. A little bit of water or stale petrol. Air filter goes back on, like so. Happy with that. Now this was actually, oh I see, he's actually broken the clip off of there, isn't it? That's why he's done that. Okay. The clip's broke, so I need to just try and maybe use his method of cable tie that on. How does he do that, Mick? He went round and did he? A bit of cable tie. I've got some spare ones somewhere, but this is just for purpose. Little tiny tiddly cable ties. That's what he used. Just to hold the air box on. And he probably went down through there, I expect. Through there. And then through the back. And back round. That can be long enough. I'm going to want two. I'm going to want two. I'll tidy these off in a bit with a pair of snips. I don't secure it too much. I don't even know if the engine's going to run yet, do we? I've got to check the oil, because the problem with lots of people is they panic. They think, oh, my lawnmower's blown up, I'll put oil in it. It's the first thing they do. So they chuck about 10 litres of oil in. That'll do. I'll snip my ends off. That looks nice and tidy. Right, so let me check the oil. Now on these mowers, exactly the same as the Hondas, you just dip and test. So you fill it up to the desired level, and then with the oil dipstick, you remove it, and then you just dip and test. You don't screw in the dipstick again. Okay, let me spin it around. Try not to knock anything over here. Round the side here, here's your dipstick just round here. There it is, hidden behind there. Undo that. And it looks like there's been fresh oil been put in there. You take it out and it all fills out and you know it's overfilled. No, it's not overfilled, so just going to clean that off, dip and test, and it is absolutely bang on the mark. That's good. So we've got enough oil to run, but we'll be doing an oil change anyway. And these are the piggest of pigs to put back in. And I always end up cross-threading them. I don't know why it is. This is the only one I have problems with. Is 4-on-4s. In fact, some of the Tecumseh's going to be like this. It never seems to sit on straight. You think that's in, and it really ain't. No, that's not in either. I'm going to fight this for about the next 4 hours. So you wait and see if I don't. They're pigs, they are. See what I mean? I'll just leave it alone. No, you've got to check your oil. Right, I'll come back, because otherwise we're going to be here all day. I got it. We're going to be all day otherwise. Right, so all is fine on the level. Quick little tidy up, quick little clean up. I'll go and fire it up before I sharpen the blade, all that stuff. Get a quick little clean off, make it look nice. Take it outside, put it on the lawn, start it up, see what it does. Now, whilst I've been yakking, I've also been consciously looking around by the carburetor to make sure I've got no leaks. Because you don't want no leaks off your carburetor, okay? And these like to leak, especially if you don't get that carburetor bowl, O-ring bowl seal on there properly, then they just leak on you. They will just leak. Ask me how I know, because I do know. So if you put all yours together and it leaks, don't get cross. It's because you have put it in wrong. Okay. In fact, it won't leak because I had the fuel line clamped off, so now it'll leak. Now you wait and see, but generally they do. But if you're careful enough, I have been quite careful, we'll be good. So yeah, let me clean it off, leave it on the bench just for 5 minutes just to make sure the oil is okay. I put the HT lead back on again. We'll take it outside on the old grass, and we'll fire the old girl up, see what it do. Okay, right, let's get this off the bench then. Now it's got a full tank of juice in it from earlier on. So I haven't touched the fuel. But I did drain a bit out the bottom. Right, let's get this out. Dodging all the obstacles. And we come. So now's a good time to check for leaks, because it's been sat right under the carb. Is it dry? Dry as a bone. So now it should run and not cut out. Right, give that a minute, because it has been, I think it's been tipped up. Let me find a clamp for that. Now, don't feel disheartened, right guys, if you do all that hard work and it still hunts and surges, because they do. And it happens to me too. It's not every single time I fire a lawnmower up and it runs lovely. It doesn't work like that. And I will show my shortcomings as well as my successes. So this may need to go back up on the bench and have another go. But it is quite smoky as well. I got a couple of good primes. And I'm going to let that run. It is very smoky. I'll come back to you in 2 minutes. But I've got a feeling it wants another carb clean. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. It's been a pig. 3 carburetor cleans, a tank flush, and inside the fuel hose that goes into the tank, you'll find a little tiny filter. Now, as I dump the fuel out, the fuel looks good. But as I dump the fuel out, halfway through dumping the fuel, I had a fuel restriction. And I removed the fuel pipe off of the tank. And there's a filter, a long tube filter in there. You take that out, give that a good clean, put it back in, and that improved the flow. So I got a feeling there was something blocking up the fuel, either inside the tank or the actual filter was dirty itself. So now, fingers crossed, after 3 carbies, 3 carb cleans, rimming jets, air compressing, and all sorts, it should now do that. So, it just goes to prove that even Micks Mowers and Mower Man can have problems when it comes to fixing lawnmowers. My videos are not rigged 100%. I don't pre-start the engines, nothing like that. It is what it is. This has been an absolute pig, but that's what they are. That's what they do. Lawnmowers are here, lawnmowers are sent from hell to test us. That's running nice now. We like it. So, just to reiterate, carburetor clean is one thing, right? Okay, and you've got to be really, really thorough. And so many people message saying, Mick, I've cleaned the carb, I've done the carb, mate, I've done that. I understand that, okay? Do it again, and do it again. And do it again until either you're happy that you have eliminated everything. You've been so thorough, and I really rimmed them jets out on those main jets as well, to a point I was getting a bit careful with flooding the carburetor, but it was always fuel starvation. And I think it's a contributing factor of maybe I wasn't thorough enough on my first carburetor clean, or the second, and also I did have a fuel delivery issue coming from the tank to the carb via the little tube filter inside the fuel hose that goes into the tank. Just pull that off and you'll see it in there, it'll come out. Little tiny, they're normally white but they'll go brown over time. A little tiny long tubular filter, take that out. You can just leave them out if it's your own mower. As long as your fuel is A1, you won't really have many problems. But if it does start to collect dirt, then that dirt is only ever going to end in one place, and that is going to be inside your carburetor. If the filter is there, it's going to stay inside your tank, so you need to keep an eye on it. So, but all in all, from a machine that was given to me free of charge. I've had enough of petrol lawnmowers, they're a pain in the bum. I agree with you. I'm going battery power. The bloke's now going to bought a battery powered machine. Don't know how much he's bought that, and don't know how long that's going to last. But I've now got a Mountfield 414 push mower, which now runs and doesn't hunt. But it did hunt, and it got right on my nerves to the point where I had a right enough of it.